In the light-filled world of South Korean entertainment, where smiles and gestures on stage are often protective of any inner wounds, there are certain moments that feel so real that they break the line between idol and human. One of them is the latest recognition from Park Jimin, one of the BTS members who has always been known for the warmth of his smile, the softness of his voice, and genuine concern for those around him. The sentence that slipped from him some time ago surprised many. "I can no longer hide it." A simple sentence, but full of meaning, as if opening the door to the contents of the heart that has been locked tightly. Jimin is not just a singer or dancer. It is a symbol of hope, sincerity, and struggle for the millions of people who follow BTS's journey. However, behind the glare of the cameras and the glitter of the stage, there is a fragile side that is rarely seen. His confession this time made the army around the world pause, trying to understand what he really wanted to convey. Is it about the pain he's been holding on to all this time? Is it about regret, longing, or perhaps the truth that has been withheld for so long to protect others? When Jimin spoke, his face did not show a dramatic expression. It is precisely that calmness that makes the atmosphere feel so tense. He sits with his body slightly bent, hands squeezing each other, as if seeking strength from himself. The sentence glides slowly, almost like a whisper, but is able to stop the heartbeat of anyone who hears it. There was no background music, no shouts of fans, only silence that seemed to creep throughout the room. Actually, Jimin's journey has always been filled with stories of sacrifice. From the trainee days when he had to train harder than anyone for fear of falling behind, to the moments when he almost gave up due to such great pressure. In every interview, he often smiled and said that he was fine. But this confession shows that there are things that cannot be kept hidden behind positive words. Some fans suspect that he means the feeling of being depressed by constantly haunting expectations. A star of her size is always in the spotlight, and every move can be big news. Imagine the burden he must carry. Maintain the image, give the best performance, stay cheerful even though his heart may be broken. All of that could make anyone exhausted, even someone as strong as Jimin. There are also those who interpret this confession to be related to his personal relationships, whether with the BTS members or his own family. Over the years, Jimin has always been known as a very protective figure towards Taeyong, Jungkook, and the other members. He often prioritizes the happiness of others over his own. Perhaps the phrase, "I can no longer hide it," is a form of honesty that he is also a human being who has limits, who cannot always be relied upon without ever admitting his own fatigue. Not a few also associate it with the BTS process of serving time in the army. A long break from the stage, longing for the army, as well as major changes in personal life certainly had a profound impact on the feelings of each member. Jimin, who is very sensitive and easily connected to his emotions, may feel loneliness and longing more than others. Honestly, he chose to say that he could no longer cover it up, as if inviting army to share the pain together. But what made this confession even more touching was the way the army responded. Instead of feeling disappointed or scared, millions of fans are sending endless messages of support. Hashtags related to Jimin's confession briefly filled Twitter timelines, with thousands of people writing sentences full of love. "We are always there for you. Don't feel alone." To Jimin, "You can be fragile because it makes you more real." This response proves that the relationship between BTS and ARMY is no ordinary relationship. There is a very strong emotional bond, a bridge built from honesty, wounds, and mutual love. On the other hand, Jimin's confession also made the public reflect again on the dark side of the South Korean entertainment industry. That glamorous-looking world often hides tremendous pressures that can be mentally devastating to the artist. Many cases have occurred, from burnout to the tragedy of losing young stars because they cannot bear the burden. Jimin, with his courage, as if reminded everyone that no one is immune to pain. His confession is not a sign of weakness, but rather a great strength to dare to be honest before the world. The BTS members themselves are believed to be the first to understand what Jimin felt. During this time, they are known to support each other like a family. The youngest, Jungkook, will most likely approach Jimin with a warm hug, while Taeyong with his sincere gaze can be a place of sharing without many words. RM, as a leader, certainly knows the burden that each member bears, and he must have felt relieved because Jimin finally dared to speak. Moments like this only strengthen the bond between them, showing that BTS is not just a music group, but a real family that survives together in the midst of the storm. From the public side, many considered that Jimin's words were the beginning of a new chapter. Her admission opens up a wider space for discussion about the importance of mental health, especially for people who are constantly under stress. ARMY is now not only fans, but also loyal listeners who are ready to support with understanding. This awareness is very important because sometimes artists just need to know that they are not alone. Jimin may not have explained in detail what he meant by that sentence, but it was precisely that vagueness that made everyone connect. Because basically, every human being has been in a position where they feel they can no longer hide something, whether it's sadness, longing, guilt, or even unspoken love. By telling the truth, Jimin became a mirror for millions of people that such feelings are legitimate and do not need to be hidden forever. Now, after that shocking confession, the atmosphere around BTS feels different. There was an aura of greater warmth, as if ARMY and Jimin were clasping each other's hands in honesty. Many fans wrote that they cried when they heard the confession, not because they were sad, but because they were touched by Jimin's courage. The entertainment world rarely gives room for vulnerability, but Jimin proves that even fragile can be beautiful if expressed sincerely. The phrase, "I can't hide it anymore," may be just a few words, but the effect is amazing. It changed the way people looked at Jimin, not just as the perfect idol on stage, but also as a struggling human being, just like the rest of us. And therein lies BTS's strength. They've always managed to unite seemingly disparate worlds, between stars and fans, into one big, mutually reinforcing family. With this recognition, Jimin wrote a new chapter in his life's journey. It shows that the truth, however weighty, will always be more liberating than a nurtured lie. And perhaps this is the message he wants to convey to the ARMY. That it's okay to be fragile, it's okay to admit difficulties, because that's exactly where we find the true beauty of being human. After those words came out of Jimin's mouth, the atmosphere in the room seemed to freeze. The camera that had previously only recorded his face suddenly felt like a silent witness of such a deep confession. ARMY, who watched through the screen, could not hold back tears, imagining how heavy the burden he had been carrying all this time. But what was most touching was how the BTS members responded to the moment. Taeyong, who had always been known for his calmness, immediately turned to Jimin with a meaningful look. He didn't say anything, but the look in his eyes sent a message. "I'm here for you." ARMY, who knows the friendship of the two, knows very well how deep their bond is. Since his trainee days, Taeyong has always been one of those people who can make Jimin laugh in the midst of fatigue. Now, seeing his best friend open up honestly, Taeyong could only approach and pat him on the shoulder, giving support without having to say much. Jungkook, on the other hand, showed a more emotional reaction. As the youngest member who has been very close to Jimin, he was seen holding back tears. There was a sense of guilt in his expression, as if he didn't feel sensitive enough to realize how much of a burden Jimin was carrying. Without hesitation, he stepped forward and hugged Jimin tightly, bowing his head on his shoulder while whispering quietly, "Hyung, you're not alone." Those simple words made many fans who watched the moment sob, because they knew that the phrase was born of sincerity. RM, as the leader, tried to calm the atmosphere. He nodded slowly, then spoke in a deep but confident voice. "Whatever you feel, whatever you've been hiding all this time, you no longer need to carry it alone. We are your family, and the ARMY is your home." His remarks were greeted with applause from the staff who were in the room, a sign that everyone felt the power of the moment. Suga, who is usually more reserved, also did not stay silent. He just stared at Jimin for a long time, then said briefly but meaningfully, "You've been strong enough all this time. Now let us take care of you." A simple sentence, but out of the heart of a brother who understands the meaning of struggle. The collective reaction of the members further shows how BTS is not just a music group, but an unshakable family. They did not demand Jimin to explain in detail what he was hiding, nor did they urge him to continue talking. They are simply present, with hugs, glances, and sentences born of sincere love. That moment also made the ARMY around the world feel as if they were in the same room. Many fans wrote on social media that they felt great warmth. "I cried watching how they took care of each other," wrote an ARMY man from Brazil. "It's more than just music. They are brothers whom fate brought together," wrote another from the Philippines. Jimin's confession not only opened his own heart, but also reopened the story of how important honesty is in a relationship, be it friendship, family, or the bond between idols and fans. With that courage, he showed his human side, and actually made everyone love him even more. Now, after that moment has passed, many believe that Jimin will step lightly. He has let go of some of the burdens that he has kept tightly,